The story of Snowbird Brown is one of tragedy and personal loss in the Alaskan Arctic, where the Brown family's everyday existence is characterized by survival and isolation. The Brown family has seen some of the most heartbreaking tragedies, both on and off screen, amid the wild's beautiful beauty. They have been put to the test in ways that no camera could ever adequately depict, from unspeakable personal hardships to the tragic death of loved ones. The impact of these tragedies has been especially great on Snowbird. Her path has been anything from simple, starting with the death of her dear father, Billy Brown, and continuing through the difficulties that followed. Supporters of Alaskan bush people have observed Snowbird struggle with the psychological effects of these tragic events, in addition to the physical difficulties of wilderness living. Despite her gruff demeanor, Snowbird has a deep inner depth that has been molded by the pain and constant adversity that have characterized her family's path. For the Brown family, Alaska was more than just a place to live, it was a way of life. At the center of this challenging life is Snowbird Brown, a quiet force of strength and resilience whose story transcends reality TV. First, we need to understand the circumstances of her childhood. Born on November 18, 1994, Snowbird came from a household that valued individualism. Amara Jean Snowbird Brown is her full name. Her parents, Billy and Omi Brown, wanted a life away from the bustle and comforts of civilization, so they brought their children up in the remote wilderness of Alaska. One should not take this life lightly. It was pure, unfiltered, and often brutal. Every day was a new struggle, but for Snowbird, it was just home. Snowbird's schooling was anything but normal, in contrast to most children who wake up to the sound of alarm clocks and prepare for school in crowded classrooms. She received things from nature itself. She learned how to fish in frozen lakes, build shelters from items found on the ground, and navigate dense forests with ease. The wilderness was her playground, and her professors were the elements. From a young age, Snowbird developed a close relationship with the land. She wasn't just getting by, she was thriving. She was so curious that she explored every inch of her surroundings, often with the help of animals that she admired greatly. Her affinity for animals, which would later resonate with audiences worldwide, characterized who she was. When Alaskan bush people made their Discovery Channel debut in 2014, the world first became aware of the Browns' distinctive way of existence. By chronicling the family's daily struggles and triumphs, the show captured what it was like to live off the grid. Among the numerous family members, Snowbird's composed demeanor and unwavering independence were notable. It came to her, but she didn't seek attention. Her honesty and determination to follow her moral convictions touched audiences. Snowbird's appearance on the show wasn't meant to be dramatic or showy. It was intended to illustrate a simple, hard-working lifestyle. Her fans commended her ability to adapt to any situation, even bad weather, and the constant challenges of living alone. Snowbird's love of animals, as evidenced by her frequent appearances caring for her cats and other pets, further reflected her compassion. As the popularity of the show grew, so did Snowbird's. But there are disadvantages to being famous, especially for people who value their privacy. She had never known the constant attention and speculation from her fans and the press. While her family accepted their positions as reality TV stars, Snowbird remained grounded and focused on what was most important: her family and her connection to the land. However, life behind the scenes was not without its difficulties. After a health scare, Snowbird's resilience would be put to the ultimate test. Persistent stomach pain led to the discovery of precancerous ovarian tumors. The diagnosis was devastating for Snowbird and the rest of the family. In the grueling operation that followed, an 8-pound tumor had to be removed. Despite all, Snowbird stayed resilient. Her health issue evolved into a gripping narrative in the show, allowing viewers to see both her strength and vulnerability. These days, surviving in all contexts, not just the wilderness, was the aim. Snowbird's openness about her sickness and her will to overcome it won over many. She transformed into a beacon of hope, proving that even in the face of life's most formidable challenges, strength can be found. During her journey, Snowbird was mostly dependent on her family for support. The bond of the Brown family was unbreakable after years of enduring and cooperating in the harsh Alaskan environment. The loss of their father, Billy Brown, devastated the entire family. Billy had been the leader of the family and the source of their lifestyle. His demise left a space that could never be filled. After this setback, Snowbird acted in ways that were in line with her character. She became a pillar for her siblings, helping them to get over their loss and into the future. Her role as the godmother of Elijah, the son of her brother Noah, further exemplified her maternal inclination. She approached the assignment with love and accountability, proving once again that her family came first in all that she did. Despite her quiet demeanor, Snowbird was able to build relationships with her fans. She began sharing glimpses of her life outside of the show on social media. Her posts were sincere and kind, despite the fact that she didn't post frequently. Admirers were drawn to her unique style, which combined pragmatism and creativity to express her personality. Beyond her public appearance, Snowbird's philanthropic activities provided valuable insight into her character. She began taking part in cancer awareness initiatives, using her platform to spread the word about a subject that was very important to her. She supported several charitable initiatives, demonstrating her commitment to making a difference in the world, even from the remote corners of Alaska. As Snowbird looks to the future, her objectives continue to evolve. There have been hints of a passion for music, a creative outlet that can lead to new opportunities. She may or may not continue on this path, but one thing is certain: Snowbird's journey is far from ended. Her story is one of courage, perseverance, and honesty. It acts as a reminder that facing challenges head-on rather than avoiding them is the path to true strength. Snowbird Brown's legacy is already ingrained in the hearts of those who have followed her journey. Snowbird Brown's life is a never-ending cycle of hardships and triumphs, much like the wide Alaskan tundra itself. There are new obstacles to conquer every day, such finding food, keeping a place to live, and gathering firewood. But these are not just daily chores, they are rituals that link her to a way of life she has known since birth. The natural rhythm dictates her speed, and this bond with nature is what sets her apart in many ways. With her hair blown in all directions and her eyes searching the horizon, Snowbird is seen by many observers strolling through the woods. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving in an environment that challenges convention. Her affinity for animals is especially remarkable. While most of us might see stray cats and wandering deer as passing phenomena, Snowbird sees them as kindred souls. Her love of animals transcends the ordinary and becomes a fundamental part of who she is. Snowbird's bond with her cats, in particular, has become legendary among devotees. When you see her lovingly cuddling a kitten or enticing a shy cat out of hiding, you see her softer, more loving side. This duality, fierce and tender, evokes such a strong reaction in her audience. She embodies a silent power that is audible without yelling. While Alaskan bush people captivated onlookers, Snowbird remained loyal to her career path. Unlike her siblings, who often leaned into the spotlight, Snowbird was more reserved and liked to let her actions speak louder than words. It is rare to find such genuineness, especially in reality TV, where drama often takes center stage. But Snowbird didn't require any manufacturing. Her existence, with all its rough edges and beautiful imperfections, was fascinating enough. She had health problems, which further complicated Snowbird's story. The discovery of the precancerous ovarian tumors was a turning point for her and the Brown family as a whole. The startling discovery served as a sobering reminder of life's unpredictability. The surgery that followed was an intense battle, but this time it was against her body instead of the weather. The thought of an 8-pound tumor is astounding and highlights the seriousness of her ordeal. But Snowbird, as always, met this challenge with composure and determination. She didn't try to gain sympathy or exaggerate her situation. Instead, she confronted it with the same quiet resolve that had gotten her through so many winters in Alaska. Admirers watched, inspired by her courage. This wasn't simply another story, this was real life, pure and simple. The support of her family was crucial throughout this time. The Browns, who were known for having a close bond, banded together to comfort and support Snowbird. After their father, Billy passed away, their family's devotion was especially touching. His death left a great hole in their lives, and the family is still grieving. Billy Brown was not only a father, but also a leader and mentor. His concept of living independently in the forest had become the foundation of the family's existence. His passing served as a reminder that life is short, even for people who seem unstoppable. During this time, Snowbird helped her siblings in numerous ways. Her quiet strength was consoling in the midst of grief. Throughout all of this, Snowbird remained close to her fans. Snowbird shared glimpses of her life on social media, a platform often utilized for brief updates. Her posts were never overly ostentatious or curated. Instead, they reflected her simplicity and sincerity. This openness and disobedience of the expectations of the celebrity lifestyle were appreciated by supporters. Her sense of style also became a talking point. Her individuality was demonstrated by her clothing, which was often paired with practical items suitable for wilderness living. It combined style and functionality, just like Snowbird herself. Her fans were impressed by her fashion choices, which mirrored her distinct personality. Snowbird's trip continued to be enthralling even when the seasons changed for the Alaskan bush people. A look into a life that many people could only dream about was provided by each episode. The triumphant and joyful moments, as well as the hardships, were real. Snowbird is still living in the woods today, surrounded by the natural cycles of life and the comforts of family. And for her fans, that's plenty. For Snowbird, living in the Alaskan tundra has always been more than just a backdrop for reality TV. It's a way of life that fundamentally shapes who she is. Every day in the remote parts of the family's land blends arduous work with a feeling of oneness with the natural world. Through her efforts in the garden, tracking wildlife in the dense forests, and protecting the family's home from the strong winter winds, she displays her persistent commitment to self-sufficiency and appreciation for the earth. This connection to nature is spiritual for Snowbird. She sees the seasons not only as a changing scenery, but also as teachers who teach patience, perseverance, and adaptability. Whether she is standing by a frozen river or watching the northern lights dance across the sky, she finds peace and reflection in the quiet moments. In these moments, the cameras recording her life seem so far away, and all that remains is her unbreakable connection to nature. Snowbird, who is known for her love of the outdoors and her calm, thoughtful demeanor, is often described by her brothers as the family's old soul. Before speaking, she listens, observes, and considers the situation. In a family full of lively personalities, outsiders often overlook this quiet strength that is deeply valued by those closest to her. Her relationship with her younger sister, Rain, is particularly charming. Despite their differences, Snowbird is more reserved, while Rain is more outgoing. They have an unbreakable bond. They often turn to one another for support, especially during difficult times. Together, they represent the family's balance. Rain's youthful energy and Snowbird's lifelong knowledge. The family relied on Snowbird to help them in the wake of the devastating wildfire that destroyed their homestead. The fire not only destroyed their tangible belongings, but also put their stability and sense of security at jeopardy. Despite the challenges of rebuilding, Snowbird remained unwavering. She was in charge of the efforts to clear the rubbish, save what was salvageable, and reconstruct their home using what was left of the fire. In times of crisis, Snowbird's realism comes out. Instead of focusing on what has been lost, she focuses on what can be done. The Browns have overcome several challenges because to this forward-thinking strategy. Whether it's inventing innovative methods to gather food during harsh winters or creating makeshift solutions when supplies are scarce, Snowbird's creativity is crucial to the family's survival. In addition to her personal family, Snowbird cherishes her ties with the wider community of admirers and watchers, albeit she doesn't express it often. Despite her lack of social media activity, she receives thank you notes and letters from people who are inspired by her story. One of the most moving aspects of Snowbird's life is her capacity to find joy in the small things. She loves a nice fishing trip, a well-brewed cup of coffee over the campfire, and the first snowfall of the season. She is loved by many because she appreciates the small pleasures in life. She has a platform to express herself because of her love of the arts and creativity. She captures the beauty she sees every day by filling sketchbooks with drawings of wildlife and landscapes. Intimate in nature, these sketches are not intended for public display, but rather serve as a private mirror of her experience. Every pencil stroke captures the grace of a flying eagle, the quiet of a woodland blanketed in snow, or the gentle ripple of a brook. As the years go by, Snowbird's place in the family continues to evolve. She now mentors and advises the younger family members in addition to being the eldest daughter. Her years of survival in one of the world's most harsh environments have given her a wealth of knowledge that they all benefit from. Her job is one of gentle leadership rather than authority. She sets an example rather than issues commands. Even though Snowbird's life may appear to be lonely to outsiders, it is anything but. In her world, she has relationships with the land and its people in addition to her family. The deer who roam the clearing, the birds that nest near the hut, and even the stubborn foxes that try to steal their food sources are all part of her extended community. She respects them since they are also navigating the challenges of survival. Her reputation as a trailblazer of unconventional life is intimately associated with Snowbird Brown's story. Her sense of purpose in life is what sets her apart, despite spending a significant amount of time in the vast Alaskan wilderness. It's about thriving in a setting that demands mental clarity, emotional resilience, and physical perseverance, not just about getting by. What is so remarkable about Snowbird is her ability to maintain her privacy while living in the spotlight. She picks her posts wisely, sharing small details about her life without giving too much away. Because of this balance, she is able to maintain her sense of normalcy and protect the things that are most significant to her. For instance, Snowbird promotes re-establishing a connection with nature and adopting the idea of living purposefully. Although uncertain, she has a bright future ahead of her. Snowbird doesn't make rash choices or follow trends. Whatever she decides to do, it will undoubtedly reflect her values and interests. Whether it means continuing her stewardship of the land, learning more about music, or engaging in other artistic ventures, her path will remain true to who she is. As of right now, Snowbird Brown of the Alaskan Bush People continues to keep her romantic life a secret. Despite years of speculation and fan intrigue, there is no confirmed evidence that she has a boyfriend or is in a relationship. Known for her independence and love of the great outdoors, Snowbird typically keeps her personal life quiet. Although she has never publicly acknowledged or addressed any romances, there are occasionally speculations about her because she is a reality TV celebrity. The way Snowbird is portrayed in the show is in line with her ongoing focus on her family and her crazy life. Fans respect her decision to keep some aspects of her life private and are drawn to her honesty and perseverance both on and off screen.